created. I'm very much in awe of it. I can't even imagine like transporting one of these pieces from one place to another, because it's also delicate and needs so much care. And I've seen other of her exhibitions, and they've all been very, very beautiful. So at a young age, she's achieved quite a bit. So I have been in this field for 40 years, 40 plus. I got into it with the birth of my child. He was a cranky, colicky baby. I got a lot of conflicting advice from everybody, well-meaning relatives, in-laws, parents, friends, doctors. There were no nutritionists in those days. And I thought, like, what's happening here? Because we were brought up so simply by our parents. Food was put on the table, we ate it. I remember my brother and I, when we were young, we didn't like what was served at dinner. So my father very simply said, if you don't like the food, please go to bed. Literally, we went to sleep hungry that day, and we never ever complained. So even though I then learned a lot about food, if you today could take me anywhere, put me anywhere, I will still eat without making a fuss. What I choose to eat on my own is different, but if I go somewhere, I will never embarrass the host, I will never, because that's the way we were brought up. So if you choose what is tradition and traditionally grown in that area, you will most probably get, even if you don't go to an organic market, you will probably land up with an organic fruit. So when we also say fruit, actually what is fruit, is the little amla, the little berries, that's actually fruit, not the big apples. But still, it's still okay to have everything. If you're buying something not from an organic market, then you just peel your fruit. The other thing is just by the taste. You can tell by the taste of things. See, a lot of the fruits now, if you go to a store, are kept in an AC room. So what happens in an AC room? It cannot be ripened. So you're having fruit. What is fruit meant to do to your body? It's supposed to make it alkaline, as opposed to contrasting the acidity so that you can balance your diet. So if that fruit is unripe or ripened unnaturally, it's actually going to do the reverse. It's not going to make your body alkaline. So we are at every point, it's quite horrific. At every point, there's injustice to the food chain. So if it's not ripening, and even if you take it home, it's already been in a cold place, how is it going to ripen? So you have to actually buy fruit from as close to the farm as possible. Any fancy fruit. A lot of this stuff that's now coming from Thailand, which is being planted in India, the dragon fruit, all of these are probably sprayed. So just stay away from things that are not natural to your, actually it should really be not even from Himachal, it should be what is grown around you. But I still feel, keep it to India. Like, how can you live without mangosteen that comes from South India? It's like one of the tastiest things. And mangoes, if they are artificially ripened, you can tell. You will immediately, instead of feeling good and cool, you will immediately feel kind of ill. Your stomach will bloat. You can tell immediately. So you have to start. I've been saying this for the last 40 years. You have to start listening to your body. There is no other way. And each one, will be sensitive to something, and their body will prefer something. It can be totally different for even a mother and a child. So you cannot force anything down people's throat.
What about having fruits and veggies over there? I heard something that they are acid, that will cause
so
acid.
it's a simple thing. It's one of my first lessons in nutrition, and it's the first thing that actually um, made a shift in my health. It's such a simple thing, is to eat, and I think everybody knows this now, eat fruit on an empty stomach because it needs very quick digestion. It goes straight into the intestine and the juices are used and you get all the vitamins, minerals, everything. And everything has protein also. Even fruit has small amounts, but it's got good quality, easily assimilable. See, it's important. What gets assimilated is what is important. It's not just what you eat. So your body should be able to utilize it. So if you have fruit on an empty stomach, you get the best, and then you can eat. So fruit on an empty stomach is a very good idea. Even though Ayurveda says to have it at 12 and 4, so it's assuming you're having a very early breakfast and then you have your fruit. But because I have been eating fruit in the morning for the last 40 years, I just can't get myself to change that. Because I tend to peck on food. So if I have a breakfast, then I eat something, then I'll still have food in my stomach, churning away, and then eat the fruit. So it doesn't work for me. So I still have fruit in the morning. And then I follow it up with whatever breakfast. And also it depends so much on what work you're doing. If you're just sitting at home working, you don't need that much food. If you're going out and doing some laborious work, then you would need much more food and you would not be able to leave without eating a solid meal.
There's another fact, a lot of facts, somebody is writing about a lot of things about when to have what, like sugar, things with sugar. So somebody was saying don't have sugary breakfast, have a salty breakfast. And if you want to have something sweet, have it after a salty meal. So
when you say sweet, you're talking about fruit?
Anything sweet.
No, see, everything eventually, even if you're having salt.
French toast.
No, now French toast.
Or oats, sweet oats.
Everything you eat becomes glucose and sugar in your body, right?
Anything.
So there's no such thing as salt, and people are saying don't have carb, don't have protein, don't have this. Honestly, that's changing all the time. And research can prove this or that, it can prove anything you want. I learned that when I gave birth to that 40 years old and that child was born. You can take a topic like natural childbirth and prove it's the safest thing. And you can take the same topic and prove that it's not safe. So that way, you just leave all this. There are hardcore traditions in place. I mean, look at our Indian diet, it's like unbelievably fabulous. It's got haldi, it's got your spices, it's got everything you need to keep healthy.
We've got our own stuff.
We have had cold pressed ghani ka tel forever.
Correct.
Forever. And it's a tragedy that, my mother's generation, when we were growing up, there was this thing of oil is bad.
That's right.
Okay, so we stopped putting ghee on our rotis, we stopped doing all
Many
these things.
things.
All that whole generation. I have an aunt right now, all got issues with their joints.
Joints.
Yeah. And it's so sad because that was our tradition.
Yeah.
Put the ghee
Yes.
over your rice and have it. It's just simple, very healthy. Our parents were brought up on red rice.
Yes, exactly.
And yet, when I started to tell my parents, stop having white rice and let's start introducing just even semi-polished, it was like, why do we have to listen to this girl? I mean,
That's
literally,
exactly.
it is so sad. But at the end, when they both were unwell, even in their last years, we switched their diets, and even in the last years, in their 80s, they were post-85, even then it made a difference. So I am living proof of that how even at that age we changed their diet and they had peaceful passing on. They just passed away, both my parents. Peaceful passing on, no doctors, no hospitals at home.
That is.
Yeah, all of us, we were brought up on white bread, white rice.
Exactly.
Iodized salt,
Which was
white sugar.
exactly.
My grandmother, they came from Pakistan, and my grandmother loved the bread in India because there was no bread in those days in Pakistan.
That's right.
So we were not brought up on our traditional cookies and loaves. We were brought up on egg and white bread breakfast. It was like, that's That's it.
That's right. That's
So
right.
it's a big tragedy. I have been reintroduced Koki. I had to look for the right recipes.
Right.
And the one that people used to make was awful. Actually, it melts in your mouth.
Correct.
You know, because you're supposed to put it on the tawa, then take it off again knead it and do it the second time
Right.
to get that softness. Now, you know, my mother didn't know this. She never made cookies.
Correct.
So it's very tragic how we lose our tradition. So if you know, if you all have parents, grandparents, anybody, aunts, uncles, hold on to those traditions, learn from them. They are invaluable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the only thing that can maintain a life in our health.
Kavita, when it comes to let's say organic food and food that's inorganic, when it comes to nutritional value, how does that make a difference?
So I'm not a big research person, but there are lots of papers written on how organic food has definitely higher values of nutrients. And if you even now, you know, people are so into hydroponics. That's something to really beware of also, because we don't know the mineral content of those. They look so beautiful, but they're being fed. Firstly, they have no sunshine. And you know, we've been 1 month without the sun and you know how it feels. So those plants don't get the sun. They're fed artificially nutrients. What we have decided that the plant needs. So they tend to grow beautiful, but they are missing in things.
That's right.
So let's not, occasionally if you need some fancy lettuce to show off on a table, that's fine, but that should not be. So what should be the main food that you choose? So basically it's not just organic, the seed also needs to be organic. Now today, all the organic food is not made from organic seed. That's not a necessity. So we have to start looking for people who are claiming now that this seed is also organic. So if your seed is not organic and it's hybrid seed, then the farmer has to keep buying those seeds to grow food. Because that seed will not regenerate on its own.
Is everything that's labeled organic actually organic?
It probably is, except for maybe 1 or 2 companies, but when it comes to fruits and vegetables, they can't put a label on every potato or every, and by the way, potato is one of the vegetables with the most horrific pesticides, believe it or not.
That's right.
And if you taste an organic potato, you will know the difference. You don't need to spice it up and do this and make a potato sabzi. Just you can eat it boiled and it's delicious. Any food that is delicious in this way is grown naturally and probably with desi seed. Now everything even at our market is not with organic seed. I'm really sorry to say, because people want red capsicum, yellow capsicum, that's all hybrid. And we have not been able to get organic seeds. They are available from Western countries to use them here with organic seed. Again, the same thing that I said with fruit, the very desi vegetables, which is what lauki, all the different pumpkins, suran, all these foods that we have stopped eating. We want French beans and carrots and green capsicum and yellow capsicum and red capsicum. You will find that in every, it's so sad, you find that in every noodle dish also. Because the chef thinks and the business house thinks that we want these fancy colors and fancy things. No, we want the traditional. But who's to tell whom it's also warped, everything. But I'm just saying simple. When I do have somebody helping me in the kitchen, but very often I'm on my own, and my simplest meal to cook is, you know what? I put my spices, if I want to put onion or tomato, whatever, I put the vegetable, I quickly put the rice and dal in it, and I put some water, let it cook, then, you know, when it gets the air pockets, I put a tawa underneath, put a lid on it, and it's got everything that goes.
So it's a one pot meal.
It's a one pot meal. It's the most satisfying. And once you eat that, you don't feel hungry for dessert and for tea because it's
That's
saturated.
right.
And then I add some sesame, roasted crushed sesame, lightly crushed sesame, and I have some pickle, and it's like,
Yeah.
and it's one pot that is kept, that's dirty. You don't have to wash 10 dishes. I come from a home where my mother had 10 dishes on the table all the time. You know, it was really tiring just to see. I'm just telling you what I find easiest.
Easy.
Because for me, brown rice has been my saving grace. I can go anywhere and eat everything. But if I don't get brown rice for about a week, I start feeling like my energy little. Brown rice, millet, any of these unpolished
Grain.
grains, yeah. Poha, such fabulous foods we have in India. Now they are making beautiful noodles from jowar and this
Yeah.
and that. And look for a farmer's market close to
So
you.
what is that? What actually is that?
So that's a place like what we have created. See,
There is a place that you have.
yes, it's something that I initiated. It's the first, India's first urban market. Every village in India has a farmer's market.
Okay.
But it's not necessarily all organic. So like, you know, when we lived in Goa, Kandolem had it on this day, Kalangut is, if you missed one, you go to the next one.
That's right.
Each little village, it's beautiful.
So where is that here?
So this one that we hold is in Bandra.
Okay.
It's in Bandra, but you know, we have people coming from Hawaii, from Malad,
Yes.
from South Hong, because you get everything there.
Is it every day or?
It's every Sunday. Every Sunday, you can even come and have an organic breakfast where everything from the cakes to the sandwich to the idlis to the dosas are made from organic ingredients. Yeah. So we are very particular about the salt. Okay, so very important. If you're, what are the basic things that you need to have? If you have the good basic ingredients in your home, everything you prepare will be healthy.
Fine.
Yes, exactly. So it took me a long time to get everything in my kitchen because many things were not available also initially. Like milk was not available forever, organic milk. So please don't have iodized salt. Look for sea salt without iodine, which is actually not easily available, believe it or not. Because that has artificial iodine which can create a problem for
With
your
thyroid.
thyroid. Yeah. So have mixture of sea salt and rock salt.
Right.
Don't mix it together. Sea salt you cook with, other
Yes.
salt you put on top. Don't have refined breads or rice.
Right.
Okay, that everybody. I think now that consciousness is very much there.
Yes.
Dairy, please, if it's not organic, you should not be having it. Because you don't know what they put in your, including urea in the milk. Sugar, we have a great, fantastic jaggery. And also now, you know, there's all kinds of raw sugar, even if you want a lighter kind of sugar.
Yeah.
There's palm jaggery, there's so many things. In fact, traditionally, like coffee was always had with,
Brown sugar.
with palm jaggery.
Palm
and
jaggery.
So, you know, you can have everything healthy, even the worst of foods, and there's nothing wrong with fried food, as long as it's fried in cold pressed oil. So, oil is a very big thing. So, please, everybody start choosing ghee and dhani ka tel, and not rice bran and all these fancy things, simple, traditional things like safflower, sunflower, sesame, mustard. Mustard oil is excellent. To deep fry, use mustard oil.
Groundnut?
You can, but cold pressed. But if you fry in mustard oil, you will, in deep frying, that pungent smell goes away. And it's fabulous, and it can take that heat.
So which is best for deep frying then?
Mustard oil. But you can use groundnut oil not for your cooking, for your jelly. But use ghee also for cooking. And don't get into this thing that you use olive oil for everything. Who the hell told us that olive oil is good for
Exactly.
cooking? It's not. It's only good for your salads, and if you're making a pasta, that's it. Don't let go of your traditions. So you can eat Western recipes, then at that time you use things. And if you use refined olive oil, that's also terrible. So then you have to use virgin olive oil. It's actually such simple things. You just do this much. eat your fruit on an empty stomach and do whatever else you want according to your own likes and dislikes, you'll be fine. Listen to yourself. Not just what it tells you when you eat something, but just about life, Listen to your heart. Don't let this interfere. Your heart will guide you to your life's goal. Your digestion will lead you to good health. Simple.
I mean, it's really remembering your grandparents' generation.
Yes, absolutely. They knew everything. So when everybody was not having oil, my grandmother, everybody used to wait for these hot pulkas, as you call them,
Right,
in the kitchen,
with ghee.
without oil. This is the oil-free era when it was meant to be not good for you. It's hot. Everybody would have these dry hot pulkas. Okay, that also. I mean, if your vegetable has enough ghee and oil, it's quite delicious to
Yeah.
have that also. But it was crazy about no fried, no this, and if you saw oil on the food, you would say, ooh,
Yeah.
I mean, literally like this, which
Yeah.
is silly because, I mean, it's lovely to put ghee on your food and have it.
That's right.
She got so fed up of all this, she got up, went to the kitchen, took the atta, rolled it, put ghee in between, folded it 4 times, rolled it, cooked it, like put some ghee in your hand and you mash it like this. She brought it to the table and thoroughly enjoyed herself because that's how we ate our food. Yeah.
That's right. I remember
And
that.
she was forced by everybody to.
I remember the little ghee ka utensil.
Yeah, which you put
The,
on the tawa, so
Yeah.
it just makes it slightly hot, and you bring it to the table and you pour it on your
it
rice.
used to be part of your cutlery. It used to be
Absolutely.
part of your condiments on the table with the chutney and the limu. and
Even
all.
butter,
Yeah.
whether it's this almond butter or just good old white butter.
How do you know adulterated ghee, which is good, what is?
See, again, the same rule applies. If you look, so what I do, I can't expect everybody to start finding out who the owners of companies are. So what I would do is I would go to an organic shop or an organic market, and I'm not trying to promote it because I'm in the line, because it's not really a business for me. So you have to find these places, otherwise there's no way out. And at our market, all the owners of every company is standing there. So you know why this person is here.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people have started things because they felt very deeply. Some people have had cancer deaths in their family, so they've got into businesses to help people
There aren't farmers markets
everywhere, I know.
Yeah.
Support you in any way.
The support I need is more and more people to come, because that farmer comes and this morning they have harvested, they are now sitting in their vehicle. The 2 tempos will leave around now, reach Bombay at about 3 o'clock in the morning. They will come and sleep there, the driver and one of the farmers. The car will come with the farmers. They will also leave a little later than that. They will leave at about midnight. After harvesting, I don't even know how they managed to do this. Has anybody here ever tried to grow rice? I've tried it. And let me tell you, it's an impossible task. So when you eat food, please be grateful for it.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a lot of job to grow food. And if we don't support our farmers and we bargain with them over 5 rupees, then we are a dead nation, because they're going to stop growing, they'll only grow for themselves. It's a wonder that they grow, and it's a wonder the organic ones do organic, because it's not easy. It's a lot more laborious. And they come and then they stand there, the 5-6 of them who come, and they hire some obnoxious Bombay boys to help them, who are all they're trying to do is steal things, the expensive ginger and garlic and all, and pocket it. They come and stand there and they sell. And we, Bombayites, can't go from one place to another to shop. So it's doing well, the market, but we need people to come, because that 2 temple loads have to get over for them to take back cash and make it worth their while. And the people at Wadi Chawan are not even farmers, they are traders who come from New Bombay. from the Vashi market. And yet everybody tells, oh, we've been going to the Vaidi Chaman market. I mean, it's so sad, they think they're eating organic. I mean, I don't know what to do besides stand on the roof and scream and tell people. There's no other way. I mean, how can I can't